Christine McDaniel here with the Health and Happiness Hacks Wellness Show, where every Wednesday, it's like Wellness Wednesday, is like our theme. I'm so excited I have Joe on the show today. It's going to be a fun one, that's for sure. We're already trying to not talk too much before we air, because I'm like, no, just save it for the camera, He might cuss, he warned me. We'll see. I said it's, you know? Yeah, he's passionate. I said, hey, look, this is my thing with cussing. Like, I'd rather people just be natural, be real. If you have to cuss, just cuss, because honestly, when you hold back, it looks like inauthentic. It's like you're holding yourself back from being real. So whatever, if you want to cuss, I don't know. iTunes doesn't get thrilled about it, but it's fine.
It'll be fine.
I don't like, you guys already know I'm not a big fan of rules anyways, and Joe's the same.
That's why I like you.
Okay, cool.
She's cool.
So we're going to launch right into it. Let's tell the audience what you're all about, some of your health and wellness background, and what you've been doing.
So what I've done, I'm an entrepreneur for the last almost 10 years or so it's been a long time. I have a publishing company where we help small business owners with their marketing and with automation, so it's everything that helps them get more profitable. And so that's not really my passion, though. I'd say like everything else stems from just feeling great, and so working out, but also a lot of breathing, meditation, stuff like that. So it's always interested me, like the last 10 years or so. Guys like Tim Ferriss were always fun to follow, Joe Rogan, guys like that. And there's cool podcasts, other ones, obviously listen to hers first.
Thanks, Joe.
But those started opening my mind to these different brain hacks and ways to live a little easier. And that's pretty much, like my drive isn't to make a lot of money in business, it's to just live a great life and then help others do the same thing.
I love that.
That's pretty much me in a nutshell, and I'm pretty easygoing, so it's cool.
No, and it's super cool because, again, I've known you for years, and I know you through business and marketing.
Right.
But on we're friends through Facebook, and I always see him post some awesome stuff about CrossFit, or about this or that, or Tim Ferriss, and I'm like, man, Joe's like really into health and wellness, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur, we're so like pedal to the metal, crazy.
Right.
So
I'm right at like 31. Ooh, no,
32. Oh yeah, you just had a birthday a couple weeks. When was it? What
Last
day?
week.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
the 8th.
Cool.
So it's been cool. But yeah, like you said, we've known each other through marketing in the past, probably 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And ever since Christine started this place, I haven't been here until now, but it's amazing because it's everything that like things like saunas, and like I do a lot of that with the gym I'm at. So it's a CrossFit gym that is kind of anti-CrossFit, so that's why it piqued my interest a little bit. That and they're good friends, but like what we were talking about, so in CrossFit, I've done it only for about 2 years or so, but it could be very taxing on your body, and I think that was what we were talking about when I told her about a back issue that I had, and a lot of people have back issues, lower back especially, and they're like the hardest thing to deal with because it's like shooting down your leg, pain, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. And at 30 years old, when I first actually did a really bad deadlift where like your back just kind of arches and then everything gives out, so your core is not tight, and then it's just basic mechanics. Even if you're picking up a box, you could totally blow your back out. So
that's what happened? It was a deadlift?
Yeah, and I was in Chicago last year when we were out there a few months, and so I wasn't at my home gym where I would normally have people tell me, Joe, that doesn't look good. Don't do that. Your spine's out of alignment. Whereas there, they were just kind of hands off. It's kind of the typical CrossFit gym. It kind of has a bad stigma in some cases where they kind of break your body, and then they go to places like you or acupuncturists or chiropractors to kind of get better. So that's what kind of scared me off for a long time. But I always wanted to figure out how to, I was a runner for a very long time and did marathons, stuff like that, but got really skinny and I felt more unhealthy. By doing that, I'm like, this doesn't seem right. So I need to lift some weights. I need to actually, and it was a good release mentally being an entrepreneur, being stressed out and a bunch of stuff happening all day long. So that was my release. Let's go pump some weights really quick for an hour and then feel great.
More than running? You think it's more of a release after a stressful day?
I think it's about the same.
Okay.
But I think I know my body now. Like I'm like mentally, I'm way more clear. I'm way strong. Like I used to be really skinny, just like in my arms and face, like it would like shrink, and it was like I was doing probably 50 miles a week or so.
50?
Yeah, I mean, I was dedicated to the thing. So, and a lot like my dad is running in my head, and it's great mentally, but my God, my body was like aching, back was hurting, knees were hurting.
That's a lot of miles a week.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So CrossFit came in, weightlifting, but doing it the right way was definitely key. So getting a good coach, spinal alignment, and like, you know, all this posture stuff. Like, I just cracked my neck right there. But it's great. Like, I've learned so much in the last 2 years, but it's with the right coaches. And
that's when I approached, because I know you do CrossFit.
Yeah.
And you know, there's this other side of the camp that's like, no, CrossFit's so bad. It just completely beats up your body, and it overexhausts you, and fatigue, and just they're too much, you know, in one direction.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, hey, I know you do CrossFit. Let me just run this by you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
So.
And I'm definitely not the type that's going to go out there and, you know, do the biggest lift or whatever. Like, I have no desire to do that anymore. I kind of did, but that's how I screwed myself up. So in Chicago, I think it was part of the CrossFit Open. So if you're familiar, it's actually happening right now. So every week there's a new workout for 5 weeks, and they're like intense workouts, bunch of repetitions, and then it's usually like in 12 minutes or something. Do max out effort, blah, 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 and you're pretty much like dead to the world after you're done, which is great, but also I'm like, I don't want to die working out. Like, that's not how I want to go. So, but I was like 26 reps in on this deadlift, and then just did it really poor, and it just literally felt a pop in my L5S1, so super low down there on the spine. And immediately I was just like on the floor, couldn't move, leg like sciatica pain shooting down to my toe.
Oh my gosh,
it's horrible. And I mean, like I said, you can totally do this with just like lifting a box the wrong way, not even that heavy. My wife did it once. So yeah, so be careful. So in lifting, definitely proper mechanics. There's some good YouTube videos if you want to make sure that spine's nice and straight. But so that put me out for like a good year, almost a year, because it was literally a year to like maybe a month ago or so.
Wow.
And so luckily I had some good coaches, and I was able to, a lot of people get surgery from these things. So it was literally a herniation in my spine. So part of my disc was popping out, and it was pushing on the nerve, and you know, it was pretty bad news. But so I couldn't do anything, but there's some pretty cool things you can do with your body with just putting your feet on the wall and kind of turning, like doing like an internal rotation of your legs. So it kind of creates space within your spine. And there's a technique called Eldoa that you can Google, and you can find someone in your area, because they're kind of like certified people who went through this whole spinal training. And the whole idea is to create space in your spine so you don't have to get surgery or take a bunch of medications all the time, or, you know, rely on all this other crap that's horrible for your body. So that's what I did. So I focused that like for a straight year, and it gradually got better. And then up until literally like a month ago, no back pain, nothing. I was able to lift everything, and I could run again because I wasn't able to like move. I still like running.
Oh, cool.
Not marathons.
Not 50 miles a week.
Yeah. So it's cool, because it was a whole new, like, I was like, wow, I can actually repair myself. And like, if I choose to stick to it, literally it took me like 5 minutes a day to do these stretches. So it's not like I was spending hours doing this stuff.
No, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So your thoughts on CrossFit are still like, what would you tell, you know, anybody you talk to, or the audience or whatever? Is it just in moderation? Is it go to a really good gym?
I would say the gym and the training, so the programming that's involved. So with CrossFit, there's, people take the label of CrossFit and they kind of blanket statement to everyone, but there's like, I don't know how many thousands of gyms around the world. So it's huge. But not everyone is trained the same, you know, these coaches. So the gym I go to is KDA, which is in San Diego, right off of Miramar Road. And their coaching staff are certified in all these spinal alignment things. So before you ever lift a weight, and this is where I would recommend you to maybe do a free session or something if you go to a CrossFit gym, is see how well they train you before you ever lift any weight at all. They should be telling you proper mechanics of how to, you know, even stand. Like literally it gets you all the way to like, okay, this is how you should properly stand. You know,
Nice.
like I had that all jacked up. So like I stood like really forward, and then that throws everything off.
Is there a certain certification program that you're like, okay, if the gym has this certification or this training, they're good to go?
I would say, the ELDOA, so it's ELDOA. So if you look for those letters somewhere on their website, if it says they're certified, that's the spinal alignment thing where basically, if they have that certification, they're caring about your spine, and that can put you out for any kind of movement. You can do a twist and then something goes. So
yeah.
I would look for ELDOA. If you have any kind of or if you see certifications, really anyone who's getting certified actually cares about their people in the gym because they're learning. And it's like us with marketing or business, we're constantly learning. Those people should be too. So,
oh, for sure.
Yeah, I would just look for certification, period.
Yeah, I know, right? No, because these CrossFit gyms popped up everywhere in the last 5 years. Oh, it's a huge business. So that's why, again, you're not you're still going to the gym. Like, even after that happening, you're still, active.
The key was I kept going in the gym, but I was focusing on these like little micro movements. So things like standing on a box, like one of my legs, and then I would drop that down and kind of, I don't know if this is on camera or not, but like put my hand up. And so it's kind of elongating each side of my body. Okay. It's all about balancing your body and like fascia. Are you familiar with all that? And
oh yeah, definitely.
So that was pretty much what I was working on. That's the key. If you don't know, it's more or less the casing around all of your muscles. So that's what keeps you looking kind of shapely. If you didn't have that, you'd be like a little blob,
Yeah.
So the whole idea is with the way I repaired my spine is not only are you bringing these spinal, each vertebrae kind of a little wider so that bulge kind of slipped in. That's pretty much how I fixed myself. But you're always working on your fascia. So I do another treatment, which involves a nose and a thumb, or a finger, not a thumb.
Finger. Which we're going to cut in a picture. So if you're listening to the audio, you'll definitely want to see this picture on the video because we're going to clip it in right here. Yeah. But he put it on Facebook, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so explain what it was.
Kind of a shocker.
Yes, I was like, what the heck? Yeah. Wait, what happened?
So there's a thing called structural myofascia release. I think it's crazy names, but basically the whole idea is that there's certified folks. What is it called? The Rolf method. So if you look up ROLF, there's a specific institute that teaches this method where it's not massages. So you go to this guy or gal and put you on a table typically, and they're testing your movements. How well is your mobility and reaching overhead, your legs? Like they test all this stuff. So I'm going through currently a 10-session series that's over 10 weeks, so once per week. And the whole idea is let's get all this stuff moving. So like little micro movements in your hips can like totally relieve back pressure, neck pressure, because I had all this stuff going on. And you realizing like, oh, I walk different now. I'm a little taller, and like it's super cool. And
that is cool. Don't they like roll the skin almost? It's similar to a massage, but it's deeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not always deeper though. Usually they're barely even touching you, which is crazy. Like it's just enough to kind of, they're not working on muscles, but they're working on, it's actually, I think it's above and around the muscle. It's all the casing of the muscle basically.
Yeah.
So they're trying to release this fascia that helps it kind of go back to where it was before you kind of jacked yourself up by, walking with your butt out or something like that, like overextended, like that will kill your back after a bunch of years of doing that. So basically,
but the finger, where did that come in?
So the finger thing, so kind of, I think I surprised the therapist, Brittany, because she actually works out of the same gym. They have a little session thing upstairs, but she doesn't normally tell people that session's part of this whole 10 series. So that was the face, it was like a neck, face, mouth, and nose procedure. So literally she was like putting her fingers in my mouth, and like massaging the upper, like all around on the inside. If you just do this to the outside of your face, you feel better. Like you can take away your headaches. Like if you're feeling, even if you're a little hungover, you drink a little, like that would all release all that tension, And so basically she's hitting that from the inside and getting it even more so. So you literally feel like your face start like melting off a little bit. It's like you feel lighter and you just feel great. So that was part of it, but this nose thing, literally it was her finger, and it freaked me out. I was like nervous, and
oh my
I don't want to scare anybody. That was a key thing. I kind of surprised her, and she's like, "Oh God, you're gonna scare everybody away from me." I'm like, "I don't think so." I'm like,
"Oh, by posting on Facebook?"
Yeah. I'm like, "This is the shock and awe you need." Like,
who took the picture?
Heather, my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she was in the room. I was like, "Get over here." I'm like, "You need to get up."
So, like, how much worth of her finger was up your nose?
She got both of her knuckle, almost down to her knuckle. Yeah, up my nose. I don't have that big of a nose, but
yeah.
So I'm laying on, and you'll see on that picture, I'm laying on the bed, and basically she's above and has gloves on, of course, and put a little oil, like massage type oil, on her finger, and basically she doesn't put any force, but you're literally having to do like these funky faces to kind of let it just keep going in, a little deeper, and it takes about a minute, I would say, to get like all the way there. You could try it at home, but don't do it.
Do not try this at home. We need like a major disclosure. That's the other thing before we started filming. I'm like, we need like disclosures all over this video.
Yeah. So I'll put it on the page or whatever.
Yeah.
But don't try it at home, but it's definitely, I mean, you can totally do this stuff around your mouth though. I mean, that you're not, don't push on soft material, but like, I mean, you can just do it on the outside of your, like right where your joints kind of meet. That's where a lot of this, this structural work, because that's where all this fascia is connecting. So the whole idea is like, let's kind of break some of that up so it's elongating that. That's why you feel really loose and like kind of like, oh my God, like I feel like a different, like literally you feel taller, like inches taller, your feet are flatter when it releases, you know. And
cool.
It's crazy voodoo stuff, not really. But,
but that's a good self-care thing. So you're doing 10 weeks worth, and just.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, literally, so here's the funky thing that people don't understand, and it's so hard to, because I'm trying to help her out with her website. You know, this is the therapist. She's been doing it for a long time. It's all word of mouth. I'm like, okay, we need to figure out how to sell your business and get more people like into this, because you can help a lot of people.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And you can find others. But the whole thing is like with that nose release and this mouth stuff she did that one session, like I came in with kind of some achy back, lower back. I was carrying a backpack around at the conference. It was the one that we were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It was like way too heavy and it like destroyed me all week long, like last week. But after that session, no more back pain. I'm like, and she didn't touch my back. She didn't lay a finger on it.
That's crazy.
So just to think, it's not really crazy, but it is.
It's all connected.
Everything's connected, yeah. So literally like a little thing on your arm, like one of the sessions, just all arms, and you'll feel something release in your foot. Like it's wild, but so I recommend looking into that.
Yeah, okay, I love it.
Therapy,
ROL.
method, yeah. So.
No, I've heard of it before, but I've never heard of it in that much detail of like exactly how they do it.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like she knows what she's doing. That's cool.
Yeah, she's cool.
So I know you're a big reader, so you probably have a lot of books, but my next question is always, what is your favorite book?
So can it be
like health and wellness? Yeah, a little bit. It can be off topic a little bit.
I would say, it's weird because I feel like everything's connected. Big fan of that. The Trick to Money is having some. I know it's a businessy sounding book and it's financial, but it's literally after reading that book along with another book, which I'll recommend too. But like if you could free your mind of things in life, big one meaning money, like money is like always, if you don't have enough of it or whatever, like if you don't have that right mindset going into life, then it can bog you down in everything. Like that can literally, it gave me a bunch of neck pain in the past. Like I would always be tensed up. And so The Trick to Money is having some by Stuart Wilde is probably in my top like 2 books just overall. And the other one, which is also money related, but again, you can put this in your life, is Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins.
So, and he just came out with Unshakable, which is like the follow-up to that.
Yeah, which, if you don't want to read like a whole fat book.
Yeah, just could skip to Unshakable, because I heard it's like a summary. Okay.
Yeah. So, and literally, like I read those things 2 years ago. Well, Trick to Money is having some read years back, but those 2 books, like if you just apply these simple principles that most people in the world don't know, simple stuff.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a finance guru or whatever. I sucked at all that, but now I have a good grasp, and it literally like frees your mind. So
I love it. No, that's good.
That's pretty wellness to me, I think.
No, well, it's health and happiness hack.
Totally.
So that's a happiness hack. It's like get the money stuff under control if that's what you're stressing out.
Yeah.
If that's keeping you from being happy, then get that under control.
Yeah.
So I think those are great options for sure.
Definitely.
What would be your number one health or happiness hack Like something they can implement like immediately.
No, this is good. So,
no fingers in the nose.
Yeah, that's not involved. Breathing. Breathing has been like my biggest like passion lately, and it's weird to say that, but most people don't think about breathing. So if you actually consciously think of how deep your breaths are, and maybe do that in a sequence of like 30 or something like that, 30 breaths, but actually consciously breathing in and then breathing all the way out. But doing that pretty, circular is kind of like get that motion. So there's a method called the Wim Hof method.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm like, this sounds like Wim Hof.
Yeah, it's not mine. I'm not taking credit, but
no, he's awesome, right?
Oh my God. So Wim, W-I-M, and then last name Hof, H-O-F. If you just Google that, I mean, there's like a million YouTube videos on this. I do use his app. It's called Fier. It's like $2 or something, but it helps you track all this stuff so you can record all this stuff. So basically it explains this whole method, and then you can test yourself at how long you can hold your breath. So the whole retention thing. So you basically breathe about 30 times, and then after that, in the last breath, you hold your breath. I'm not saying the whole sequence, so definitely go watch his videos. But you hold your breath, and then I think I've been doing it for a couple months, and I'm up to 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I know. Like, and I used to be like
another disclosure. Do not try this at home, but under supervision.
But
that's crazy.
It's cool because that'll take your anxiety away. Like it helped Heather, my wife. She was kind of going through a whole bunch of business stuff, and then we're working on getting a kid and all that. I had foster kids in the house, so she was like kind of a bunch of crap happening. So I was like, do this method. Like you need to just breathe, and it's kind of like meditating, but literally it's like so fast, and like anyone could just breathe, consciously.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
It helped. Like she does not feel any stress. I mean, literally, like you're like euphoric when you're done with this thing. So
yeah.
And I do it in the morning, like right when I wake up. Usually try to sit up. You can do it in bed, but I feel like you don't breathe deep enough, like because you kind of got that pressure on your back.
Yeah. So sit up, do it. No, we did one of his exercises. A few of us did it in a room, and you almost pass out.
Yeah.
Like the first.
Yeah. It's like hyperventilating.
Yeah, because you're. I was like, well, this is intense, man. Oh my gosh.
Literally, it's like it gives you a head rush. You almost feel a little like you see literally. At one time it like things kind of like on the carpet flashed red for a brief second. I was like, whoa.
Oh my god.
So don't do it like standing up. Definitely don't do that. But again, disclaimer.
Yeah.
Literally, like these are like the cool little hacks. So that's my morning routine, or one part of it.
That's good. How much time do you spend on the breathing routine in the morning?
Breathing usually takes maybe, I don't know, could take about 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
But
that's good.
Yeah,
that's manageable.
3 sessions of like 30 breaths and then hold.
Do you meditate too, or you do this in place of meditation?
I totally do. I'm inconsistent with it though. Okay. But I try to kind of meditate at the same time because it kind of works. So I read like cool like affirmation type thing.
Cool.
And then just think about that when you're breathing.
Oh, nice.
Pretty much
so
all
you're
think
just
about that. Yeah.
Multitasking.
Oh, yeah.
Breathing, meditation, all in one.
Efficiency is what it's all about.
Yes, of course. So Joe, how can people, our viewers and listeners, get in touch with you?
Evergreenprofits.com would probably be the best way to, our emails are there, and you can kind of see a little bit of what we do, the business.
Yeah, but awesome. But thanks so much. It's fun having an entrepreneur on that's like so into health and wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys took notes, and we will definitely have Joe back on for a future episode, because we've already talked about some stuff that I really want him to talk about, but it would be too much for one episode.
Right.
So we'll have him back on in the future, and please subscribe, leave any comments below, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.